I am Timothy Riker. I was born and reared in northwestern Ohio, Lima, Ohio, and went to Baldwin-Wallace College, now university. The chapter at Baldwin-Wallace, of course, is Ohio Beta Tau. Attended Baldwin-Wallace between 1966 and 70, graduated in 70. Entered the Coast Guard in 1970. 4 years active duty in the Coast Guard, and then the rest was reserve time, although the last 10 or 15 years seem to be mostly on active duty. Retired eventually in 2010. I practiced law in Cincinnati, Ohio, full-time. When I arrived at Baldwin-Wallace, I really wasn't that interested in fraternities. They seemed, as a group, to be elite, but through friendships that I created or I formed at Baldwin-Wallace, I came to know the men at Pi Lambda, and they were a very diverse group, and there was a seriousness of purpose that I found attractive. And so when I was a junior, that's when I pledged and stayed with the fraternity through the rest of my time at Baldwin-Wallace. The creed is 7 sentences, as I recall. And the first 6 sentences are the expression of beliefs, but at the end, the final sentence goes from creed, the set of beliefs, to a pledge. I pledge allegiance to my country and to its national symbol because of what my country stands for, which is dedicated to the highest standards of freedom and justice for all men of all creeds. When one recites the creed, one at the end is taking an oath, in a sense, to go beyond simply a set of beliefs, but to be willing to live a life of action or demonstration of those beliefs. I think back how the fraternity has had an impact on my life. Going back to the creed starts as the anchor. You start with the anchor, and you never let go of the anchor. And to use a nautical term, since I was in a sea service, the Coast Guard, of course, the creed and the pledge also act as pole stars. Now, for sailors, pole stars they never change. You have the North Star in the Northern Hemisphere, you have the Southern Cross in the Southern Hemisphere. But the creed and that pledge at the end, it's been pole stars. It's something that one returns to, and so that's had an impact on my life because it's something that when we go through life with its ups and downs and vagaries and confusions and reversals as well as successes, still come back to say, all right, what are the pole stars? What are we navigating toward throughout our life? Well, the first thing I got right about my life was marrying Miriam. So Miriam Swords we met at college, Baldwin-Wallace, and she was a member of the Alpha Xi Delta sorority. And we had a wonderful courtship and marriage until her passing last year. But that I got right completely. I suppose other things that I've gotten right in my life are long-lasting friendships, most of which really originate from Baldwin-Wallace, and significant part of those friendships from Pi Lambda Phi. So there are friends from Baldwin-Wallace, including Pi Lambda brothers, with whom we've gotten together since 1971. Miriam and I graduated in 1970. 1971, another part of our friendship group graduated, and we've gotten together every year, including during the pandemic, although that was virtually. It all ties together when we say Pi Lambda is not separate and apart. It's all integral to Coast Guard, to law, certainly overarching to marriage and family. Miriam and I, parents of 2 wonderful daughters, Catherine and Allison. As far as other right decisions, those are the main ones. And I am proud of that. And I'm proud of what Pi Lambda's gave me the opportunity to understand and develop. We all face reversals and challenges, no matter who we are. The challenges that I've faced, the details are not really important. The question is, with the assurance or speaking to those who might view this and look ahead to the future, there will be challenges, there will be reversals, there will be failures. So the question really becomes, what gets one through? How does one carry on? Well, I'm going to go back to the nautical reference to the pole stars. If one goes back in a period of deep concern, deep challenge, whatever the professional or personal challenge is, and say, what are the pole stars? What are my guiding principles? Then the creed not only becomes an aspiration, a set of beliefs, but it can also become comfort and guidance. It applies as far as those aspects of life that we say, well, I would like to aspire to that, and I'm inspired by that, and I'm going to act on that. But it also acts as a comfort and a base for recovery when we do have reversals. Well, let's talk about advice that I might give to an 18, 19, 20-year-old today. Remain of good spirit and remain constant to your principles, which should include the Pi Lambda Creed. Life will present some genuine curveballs, and there will be strikes, and there probably will be some strikeouts. But every batter comes back on the next rotation of the team. And as long as one maintains confidence in those principles, which are unswerving and then have been handed down, that's the best advice I can give to those who will be doing the work of the nation and the society in the 30s, 40s, 50s, probably 60s, maybe even into the 2070s, long after our generation has departed this earth.